Hello, welcome to another special Sudoku solve video. Uh, Today I am going further with the Sudokuvania puzzle. Um, I after last episode, I don't know. I've been looking forward to this, and this is the first time I had time. The puzzle did reset, so the timer is back at 2 minutes, and I just filled in this again because the whole puzzle reset. But I got to the point where we were, um, and I still know the boss thing is a 3. One thing I did want to show is a comment I got by SkepticalMario. That is that I was looking at this and I bifurcated this and this thermo. Um, because this 7 is here, it cannot appear on its own thermo, so it has to appear there. And then that this couldn't be 2, 3, or 4, so that's how we knew which way around the thermos were supposed to go. I didn't figure that out. The creator of the puzzle actually commented that on the video, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, Now we are moving on from where we were, which is this point, and we have a few thermos. Let's see. So this thing maybe because this cannot be 7, 8, or 9, so this can be at most 6, 5, 4. And this is a 1, 2, or 3. And this is 2, 3, or 4. 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or 6. Yeah. Um, this is at least 3 long. So this is then again 6, 5, 4 possibly. But 1, 2, 3, 4 isn't that big of a pencil mark. So how do I figure out more? Is there a way to figure out more? How? How actually? How can you do that? 4. So where does 6 go in the box? Maybe that's something. Because 6 cannot be in any of these cells. 6 can be in those two. So 6 is in one of those. So 6 is in one of those. I don't know. So if that's 1, where does it appear in this box? And well, the better point is one of those is 1 because they cannot appear on this. So that's a 5, that's a 1, that's a 5. Is that now? I am afraid that that's not correct now, but I feel like it must be. So I'm gonna keep going with it. One of those is 5 then. So 5, 4, and 6. Oh, so that's not a 1. So that's not a 2. That's not a 3. That's not a 4. So 5 must appear in one of those because it cannot appear there. So 5 and 6 are down here. This 3 is not a pencil mark. It's just the boss cell that we figured out. So what now? Uh, this doesn't influence this at all. Well, we know this is 1, 2, 3. I don't know how far I should look at those things. Um, we do know one of those is 6, one of those is 5. That could be a 5. 5, 4, 3. Sure. Um, the 8 is not in it. Well, 8 and 9 are in those cells. I'm going to pencil mark it like that. So this is an 8-9 pair. Okay. Um, okay, so that's interesting because if this is a 3, a 3 cannot appear there, 3 has to appear there. Then you have 3, 3, and that has to be a 3 again, and that doesn't work on the thermo. So that cannot be a 3, that's a 4, that's a 5, and that's a 6. That's not a 6. I am getting scared because I'm not revealing any cells. I want to check want to check if I'm doing this right, but I won't yet. Um, I don't know. That is worrying somewhat. So these, well, so, okay. So these are 1, 2, 3. So that can only be a 3. 3, 2, 1. There's the boss cell with a 3. Sum whip. What is a sum whip? Um, Please explain to me. Cells on a whip sum to the digit in the attached circle. So it's an arrow. It's an arrow. um, so these are basically arrow cells. And these are tips. That is interesting. Okay. So this is an 8-9 pair. I'm gonna remove the boss cell because we have that now. 8-9 pair. And this is 1, 3, and this is a 7. So these are not 3 because there's a 3 there, so that's a 3. Those don't have to be 1. They don't need the pencil mark, I mean. So this is a 2, 5, and 6. And this is 1, 4, 7. Okay, I have that pencil marked, sure. Maybe it's this then, because this is at least 2 and this is at least 2. Now that is somewhat of a minor point, I think, but that does mean that this is a minimum of 5, since you can have 2, 3. So this is a minimum of 5, so it's 5, 7, or 8. And we know nothing more. I think this is going to resolve this top part. And this cell is overlapping in those two puzzles. I am very curious towards the rest of this puzzle. Um, but let's not look too far ahead because we haven't even finished grid 1. Um, let's see. What is the next step in this? I heard people spend like 30 hours on this puzzle, which, if that's true, then I have a lot more to do than just this. Um, but then again, I'm excited for that. I like that idea already. Uh, Last video on this puzzle did extremely well. It is by far the best puzzle I have on this channel, the best video I have on this channel, the best performing, and I truly didn't expect that. That blew me away. Neither of these can be one. So if that's not one, one of those is one, but I don't know. It's not too much of a deal. That means the minimum is 2, 3. I don't know where the problem is. Okay. Well, that cannot be a 2. It cannot be a 1, right? Because there's no number smaller than 1. If that's a 2, that has to be a 1, and it cannot be. So the minimum this is a 4. And that cannot be a 1 either, so the minimum this is a 6, not 5. So, hmm, 1 can still go on this arrow. How am I supposed to go further now? Threes. One of those is a 3. If that's 7, you don't. It's not 1 6. It can be 2 5, 3 4. Sure, and 8 has options as well. So it's not that yet. Does it say anything? Grids. What does this mean? Oh, that's a boss cell knockdown. Okay. Hidden puzzles, other quests. Oh, I know why it updated because of the version. He updated it. Cells on a whip, sum to the digit in the attached circle. That's not what this is. No, it's not. That's a different thing. So I have this as a thermo and this as a thermo. So why do you hear movement? It's the boss. I am not sure. So 9 cannot appear on this arrow. So what cannot appear on that arrow? I think only 9 because 7. Well, 7 and 8 couldn't. Um, so this cannot have 9. It cannot have 7 or 8 because of those. So, but that could be a 9. Like I guess. Um, that's not relevant. Uh, these 4 sum to a minimum of 10. So these sum to a minimum of 10. So the least that can be is a 2, but that couldn't even be a 2. That can be 4. 4. I guess 4, 5, 6, or 9. Even though, okay, not 4 because 4 is 1, 3. 5 can be 1, 4. And then it would be fine. 1, 4 is fine, I think. Isn't it? 1, 4 makes that. Yeah, we said 2, 5 could work. Okay. These are in the same box. Is that somehow relevant? Because, right, does this have to contain a 1? It's 4 different digits. 2, 3, 5, 14. No, that can be with an 8 and a 6. That could be 2, 4, 3, 5. And we would be fine. One of those is a 1. I'm sorry, I'm struggling already. It's very early into the video and I'm struggling with this. Why am I having so much trouble? Well, okay. I'm thinking it must be something with large numbers, right? Because this cannot be 8, this cannot contain an 8, so one of those is an 8. Now, that cannot be an 8 because then that has to be a 9, so one of those is 8. Now this can neither can this contain a 7. If that's 7, that's 8, and that doesn't work with that. So those as well, those contain a 7. I'm going to pencil mark that because I think it might be relevant. Is there any other large number that has the same type of property? I don't think so. But 3 cannot appear there. It cannot appear there. But that could totally be a 3. And I don't see why it couldn't. And this would be a 4 or 5. That's that's fine. So what is on this arrow? Must there be a 6? No. This is rough. This is very tough. Can this not contain a 1 or a 2? So then the minimum is 3 and 4. But I think 3, 4 is fine, right? We need something smaller than this number. Can this be... Could this ever be a 6? And that's 7, and that couldn't be a 1. So no, that cannot be a 6. So it is 2 or 3. Since it cannot be 1, it can be 2, 3, not 4, 5, and not 6. So that is a 2 or 3. Does this have a similar property? Because this cannot be a 6 then either, right? No, no, that couldn't be a 2. Yeah, that's true. That cannot be a 6, so this is at most a 5. So this is a 1, 2, or 3. And that gives us a 1, 2, 3 triple. So one of those is a 3, so one of those is at least a 4. So it contains a 4 or a 5. It contains, if it contains, it doesn't contain a 2. So the other number is a minimum of 3. So we can have 5, 3. The other number is a minimum of 3. So we can have 5 and 3. But that could be a 2. No, that could be a 2. If that's a 2, that's a 1. And that's a 2, that's a 1. We could have 5 and 2, right? Yes, I don't see a problem with 5 and 2. But one of those numbers has to be at least a 4. But it could be a 5. So we can have 4, 3. Wait, I'm gonna label that here real quick. We can have 5, 2, like I said. We can have 4 with a 3. Those both create 7. How do you create 8? You can see 5, 3, and 2, 6 doesn't work. Because the biggest number we can put here is a 5. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't know. That's not a 3. I think, okay, so If that is 5, then that's 2 or 3. If that is 4, that must be a 3. Is there a way where this is... This cannot be a 2. So that's a 4 or 5. So this is then, if it's 4, it's with a 3. If it's 5, it's with a 2 or a 3. So this is 2 or 3. Thank you. And now we whittled this down to not being a 3. So we have a 1-2 pair. So you're 3. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now what does that for us? One of those is a 3. That cannot be a 3. Well, it can if that's the bulb. Also, this is a very strange arrow. I think a problematic one as well because, right, one of those. Okay, let's see if we can do anything else here because we know that's a 2 now. So that's a 5, and that's a 7. So that's not the 7. I'm gonna remove that pencil mark because I don't like it. I thought I might need it. This is now at minimum 1-4 still. Okay, never mind. That didn't do much. I am gonna label that one of those as 7 though. I think it's time to think about this construction here, because what I'm seeing is this arrow, right? And let's assume it moves like that, right? And one of those must be the circle. We don't know which one, but one of those. So it's always a 3-cell arrow. I'm going to remove that line because it's ugly. So the minimum one of those is 6, but the 3 is not on the line. So the minimum one of those is a 7. And since the 3 isn't on there, I think, yeah, we do need a 1. This arrow needs a 1, so one of those is a 1. So one of those is a 1. So one of those two is a 1. Well, that's not a 1 because of the 1-2 pair, so that's a 1. And then this, so this is not 9. This is with a 4 and a 5. Ooh, we got somewhere. We're seeing into the next room. There is a boss. I want to keep going with the logic here and until we uncover. Oh, I also read the rules. It said you are supposed to do the puzzle until you see the boss, and then you can do the boss. So we are going to keep up with that rule, and we'll see where that leaves us. So this structure we have to think about, which is already very difficult. Um, Instead, I'm going to look at other stuff for a second, see if I can figure something out. Oh, that's a 2, so that's a 1. That's a 2, that's a 1. No, I think that sort of leaves us stranded. Um, is it possible that this structure doesn't contain a 2 at this point? Because it contains a 1, it doesn't contain a 3. 1, 4, 5. No, that's 10 already, so it does contain a 2. One of those 4 cells is a 2. We have a 1, a 2, which sums to 3. So it's either with a 4, 5, or 6, making 7, 8, or 9. With a 4, 5, or 6. These cannot be 4 or 5. But they could be with a 6. No, I think they're there's still other things to look at before we maybe wait, maybe it actually interacts with this thermo. Because this we don't know where the bulb is though. Also, I cannot believe that these short thermos together with these arrows did what they did. That's a great setting. And it's only a small part of this gigantic puzzle. And I wanted to show there this is the quest progress. We did one boss. Um, E. So what can this not contain? This could never contain. These cannot be 7, 8, or 9. The problem I have is that can be a 6 because that can be a 9. And then that's just the bulb. Is there a way that this is the bulb? Yes. With 1, 2, and then whatever. Interesting. Okay. Um, that is quite the problem we have. And I'm not seeing it. I don't even know what I'm really supposed to know at this point. Um, no, we pencil marked everything. Everything we can pencil mark, we pencil marked. I think that's fine. If that's a 3, then we have either 4 or 5, and that's 6, 9. That must be true. Oh, that's not possible because of the 1s. So that cannot be 3. Thank you. Okay. Could that be 3? No, that cannot be 3. That's a 3. It did nothing. Okay. So this is not 6, 9. This is the bulb of the thermo. It goes this way. It increases, right? This sees 3, 4, 5. So it's either no, it could be 1 and 6. 1, 6 works. And then with a 2 and a 9. 6, and then we have 7, 8. And it's okay. That cannot be a 1. That's something I should have seen before. Because it's on a thermo somewhere. Now that's either 2 or 2 or 6. If that's 2, that can be, this can be a lot of stuff. This can be either, well, 4, 5, or 6, I guess. But if that's a 6, that's a 2. But that's not a 1. Why is this shown? Oh, because then, I don't know. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6. Or it's 1, 6 with a 2 and a 9. So this is the sum. Which is 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, or 9. No, it cannot be 1, 2, 3. It cannot be 6. So it's 1, 7, or 9. This is 7, 8, or 9. So 1. If that's 6, and that's also 7, 8, or 9. Then we have something, because then we have this. Then that's a 4. Well, if that's 6, right, then this is 7, 8, or 9. This is 7. Well, Okay, my problem is that's 6. This is 7, 8, 9. Then which one of those is 7? Because in this row we have this, so one of those must be 7, and it cannot be that one. That must be the 9, so that's 8, so that has to be 7, and it cannot be 7. So that's not true. This is 2. And this is 4, 5, or 6, and this is still 7, 8, or 9. So that's not 2. So what is this? Wow, it hasn't revealed anything more. Did I do something wrong, maybe? I feel wrong using the check button, but I am starting to feel like I did something wrong in this shape. What can that be? That can be 4, 5, 6. Even 7 or 8. Because that could be 9. Okay. One of those is 2. Is there a way where this is 6, 7, 8, or 9? That is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Oh, well, that's 8 then. Because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it sees 6, 7, and 9. So that's an 8. So that's not an 8. So that's not. Let's see, 1, 2, it's 3. So that's not 5, it's 4 or 6. Um, so what are those two then? That is 1, 2, 3, or 4. So one of those is a 2. What else am I missing? So one of those is an 8. Oui, okay. I am still not seeing it. 1, 2, 3. Well, at least 3. But that could be like 4, 5. It could be a lot of stuff. Okay, so that's not it. This is a higher number, but still. One of those is 8. This is 6 or 9. Ah, okay. If that's 6, that's 9, and that breaks that cell. So this is 4, and that's 7. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for telling me I did stuff right. Uh, what is that? Is that an Easter egg? I think that's an Easter egg. Is that an Easter egg? I feel like that's an Easter egg. Um, okay. What does this mean? Is that a secret puzzle? I think that might be a secret puzzle. Um, okay. There's there is a lot more suddenly that I did not expect to find. Let's see. Does this structure tell us something? It's weird. That's what it is. That's for sure. Um, I sorry. I'm baffled at trying to look at something, and there's just a lot to look at, and I don't know where to start. Um, what am I missing now? Is it this? Okay, neither of these can be one, so one of those is one, but that's not relevant. Neither of those is four. Which so I feel like I'm supposed to do more in this main puzzle, in the courtyard, because I have not figured that much out in that new region. So I am going to continue a bit looking at this, but I also feel like that this is somehow relevant. A maze of corridors that once housed the servants and perhaps the naked singles of Sudokuvania. Most of the doors are locked. The naked singles. Okay, I think that might be a hint towards what's to come. So this is at minimum 2, 3. This is at minimum. It's these 2, 3, and 4. So it's minimum 1, 5. So it's minimum 6. 6 and 3, so 9. So those sum up to a minimum of 9. But I don't think that is too relevant yet. Um, maybe just Sudoku somehow. Sevens. 8 is in one of those. 4. 4 is in one of those two. Why is that so problematic? See, the thing is, I'm having trouble seeing if I'm supposed to continue or keep looking at what I'm looking at. So what am I missing here? I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. That's not a 5. That's not an 8. That's not a 9. But that's about it. So this is 6, 7, or 9. And the other missing is 8. Okay. And here I'm missing 2, 6, and 9. 2, 6, and 9. So those aren't 5. Those aren't 5. So am I supposed to start looking at this? Because this number already doesn't influence that number, so I don't think this is too relevant, and this arrow could move off in any sort of way. But those do see each other. They're in the same box. See, 4 and 4. So one of those is 4, and one of those is 3. So that couldn't be a 3-4 pair, I guess. But that's such a minor point that I don't think it's even. It is. It is nothing basically. Um, but then I don't know. Oh well, that cannot be. That must be an 8 since it's in a bulb, and that must be an. What? It's an arrow point. So if that's an 8, how does this work? I don't know how that works. I have no idea. I feel like I'm missing something there. Is it a slightly different color? Maybe it's not a whipped arrow. I don't know. But that's a bulb. So that must be an 8. Is there a way? Is there a way to make this work? 8, then that has to be 9. But 9 doesn't sum to 8. This feels wrong to me. That feels wrong. I cannot explain that at all. And I don't know if I should use it then, because if that's an 8, that's a 9. Then we have the 9 there. And then we can move on a bit. I do feel like it has to be right. No? Bronze tourmaline strictly increase from the rounded bulb end. I am going to assume that that's correct. I hope it is. If it's not, I don't know. I don't know why else we would have that. But I do feel like that would then have to be a 9. Does it say anything about the borders? learned rules panel, dynamic rules. Only selects rule in the learned rules. The thin gray arrow line sent to the digit in the attached circle. I am not sure. Maybe it's a slightly different color arrow, but I'm unsure. But that has to be an 8. That cannot be a 9. I am going to keep going with that. I'm okay. I'm okay in trusting that. A 9 is in one of those because it cannot be in a bulb. That cannot be a 9 because 9 plus something is a greater number, so that's a 9. So if that's an 8, that's not an 8. So one of those is an 8. That cannot be an 8 because then that has to be a 9. So that's an 8, a 1, and a 9. And that's incorrect. So there is something wrong. This 8. Why did I think 8 had to be up there? If that is an 8. Oh well, I said that's a 9 now. Why did I think 8 had to be up here? Because that can be 8, right? And then we're fine. So what I basically said is that cannot be an 8. Okay, okay, okay. I need to slow down a little. If that's an 8, then 8 cannot be down here, then one of those is an 8. If that's an 8, that must be a 9. That's not possible. If that's an 8, then that's a 1 and that's a 9. And that doesn't work. So that's not an 8, that's a 6. That's a 5. That's an 8. So then that's a 2. I feel like I should check it. I just really feel like it. But I am still not going to, I don't think. Um okay, so what else? One of those is a 2 as well. If that's a 2, that's a 1. That doesn't work. So one of those is a 2. Wait, I'm going to label that real quick because we have 2, 3, 5, and 6 there. That cannot be 5. That cannot be 2. That cannot be 6. If that's 5, that's 6. That doesn't work either. So that's a 2 or a 3. So if that's a 4, that's a 3. That cannot be a 1. So that cannot be a 4. It cannot be a 1 because that cannot be a 1. So if that's 2, could that ever be 3? I think it can. Okay. Um, that's 2, 3, then that's a 6. I'm still weirded out by this, and I don't know if I'm doing the right thing now. That kind of bothers me a little. Um, So what? What? Could one of those be 7? If that's 7, then that's 8 or 9. If that's 7, then we have with a 2, with a 9. So none of these can be 7. So this is the only place 7 can go. So that must be a 1. And this is a 5 or a 6. So that's a 2, 3, 5, 6 quadruple. So this is 4, 8, or 7. 4, 8, or 7. We're still doing something right, I think. Um, so that is basically 7 or 8. That's not the 4. If it's 7, we have 2, 5. If it's 8, it's 2, 6, or 3, 5. Okay. And this. But this could, do that, right? In a weird way. No, because that cannot be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. That's a minimum of 6. 6, yeah, that doesn't work. So this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. And that is also 6, 7, 8, or 9. Neither of those is 7. So that cannot be a 6. Oh, so that is a 6. That's a 5. And that's a 6. I haven't found anything in a long time. And that is scaring me. So that's a 2. That's an 8. Okay. I've been doing the correct thing. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, that relieves some stress off of the puzzle for me. Now that's a 6. Those aren't 6s. I'm still weirded out by that one arrow. So what new? Those 3 sum with that one. We have a only thing we need is this one. And then we have everything that interacts with this puzzle. So that's enough to continue at that point. Um, I think so. While doing the puzzle, I have been thinking a bit. Um, I think at the end I am going to press check just to be sure. Because if I go into next video with a problem, then it'll just keep building on top of itself. And I don't want that to be how this series ends. I do truly want to finish this, and I think that'll be hard enough as it is, and I don't need the added challenge of having to go back and relook at things that I already did and stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 9. So one of those, so that's a 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are 8s, those 8. So that's an 8. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's not 4. That's not 5. That's not 6. Remove those 4s. Oh, remove those 4s. And this is 1, 2, 3, 2, and 6. 2 and 6. I am going to draw a black border here, just for my own sanity. Here I'm still having problem with that 3, 4. It is true that this. So this cannot be 6. So this is 7, 8, or 9. And that 8 doesn't see that. This 3, 4 doesn't even see that. Okay. So that's rough, I think. 4, that's not a 4. One of those is a 4. 2 1s, maybe. One of those is a 1. And the rest we kind of don't know. That's 4 or 5, I think. Yeah. And the rest is still sort of ambiguous. I do want to try and keep going a little, but if I get very stuck again, I'll wrap it up for this video. Um, oh, this cannot contain a 1, so we know that this is 2, 3, 4. So that's a 9. That gives us a lot of stuff. A very big thermo as well. So that cannot be 9. It could be 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. 7, 6, 5, 4. What's the minimum? Because let's say 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. This cannot be less than 5. And this cannot be 6. So this is always 7 and 8. So, but that couldn't be 2 because it's 2 different digits. So what is this? Oh wait, so this is always 5 or 6. So this is, it could be 5, 4. It could be 3 because it sees 1. So it couldn't be 4 either, so it is 5. And that's a 6. And then this is 2, 3. And this is, it's not 1, 2, or so it's 4. Wow, okay, that's a long thermo. But we know it's 3, 2, 1. Is that new? Is that the new rule? Is it? Do we have it? No, we don't have it yet. We need to figure out a bit more. But we don't. Does this have to go like that? I think it does. Is there more we can figure out within this puzzle then, within the courtyard, within the quarters? Because this cannot be it, right? It cannot be just this and then we move on to the next thing. But there is not much more. So what am I missing here? I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9. let's do the right one. 5 and 9. I feel like that's almost all we can do. That must be a 1 because it's the only place it can go in a row. And we have 1, 2, 3. We're missing 4. And this cannot contain 5 or 1. Oh, this row already contains 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're missing 5. 5, 7, 8, 9. So this is 5 and 9. This is 7 and 8. And here we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But that's kind of all we can do, right? Could that be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? No, and those have to be connected. No, it couldn't. That's 9. Wow, okay. Whisper dash. I don't feel like this beam thing is the whisper dash. Oh, on a whisper line, each digit must differ from the next digit on the line by 5 or more. Okay, we're going to keep going this way. Did they just appear? Oh no, it cleared. Lock the whisper dash. Well, see, I see this thing, and I think this might be the same thingamajig. So that's a 1. And that's a 5. Ooh, okay. We haven't unlocked the dot yet, but we could use it. But we're not going to, but we, 2, 4. It's something to keep in mind. So, what have we figured out? That's not a 3. Oh, that's not a 3. That's not a 1. So that's a 5. I'm gonna fill in what we know, and then um, I'll call it in. I'll call it for today. Well, okay. So one easy one is this one, which I saw. But let's keep going here for a bit. That's not 5. Is there more? That's now a 1 or a 2. That's still 1, 2, or 3. That's still 2, 3, or 6. Okay. Am I missing something in this small little Sudoku? 4, 6, 1, 2, 3. We did the 1, we did the 3. We don't know this. No, I don't think I missed anything. I did all the 5s there. This is fixed, this is fixed. This is fixed. One of those is 6, sure. So that is fixed. No, okay, so that's stuck on where it is. Now this. Because these are whisper lines, they are 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's not 3, that's not 4. That's not 4 either, because that can be a 9. Neither can be 2. So we know that that's 1, and we have a 3. 3 goes with 8. 1 with whatever, but not 8. This is now 6, 7, 6 or 7. And that is 7 or 8. But that's already into the next puzzle. 1. I do think we have enough information to just keep going because nothing from this puzzle will influence the factory. Except we haven't done the level 2 boss yet. And I do want to. So you might look into that. This one of those is a small digit, and it has to be 4, and the other one has to be 9. That cannot be 9, so that cannot be 4. So that's 4, and that's 9. I don't know if. Oh, okay. So this works like that, and that works like that. Um, but I think that's all we are going to do for today. Let's zoom out and see what we've done. We've done a lot of work on the big puzzle in, in this video. We learned 2 new rules, but there's still so much to do. I am really enjoying this so far. This is such an interesting, well thought out concept, and it's well constructed as well. Every single bit was good logic basically. This I really like this structure, and this as well. It had some interesting bits all working together. I do think I did it in an orthodox way, and I still do not understand this. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Uh, Thank you for all the support on the last Sudokuvania puzzle. If you watched that and watched this one this far as well, thank you so much. I am really, really happy you enjoy what I do. And have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye.